Welcome to Caesar's Coin, the place where I talk about money, finance, and lifestyle. Today's episode is about how to pay off debt fast. It isn't uncommon for people to have debt, but how you deal with that is very important. You see, having debt can be beneficial to you if you know how to handle it. But if you leave it unattended, it can ruin your life. If, for example, you have missed payments on your creditors, you took out loans, or you missed payments on your rent, on your mortgage, on your bills, do not despair. There is always something you can do. First of all, make a list. Make a list of all the debt you have, starting with the higher debt, going down to the smaller debt. It is very important that you do this very important first step. It's going to give you a visual of whatever you owe. You're going to see where are you situated and what are your options. Make sure you highlight with a highlighting pen or in capital letters whatever debt is the most important, and in lowercase whatever is not as important but also needs to be paid, because you don't want your list to be super long or overwhelming. Otherwise you're just gonna go to sleep and forget about that list. Now, after you made that list, make sure you talk it out. You need to take that list and call every creditor that you owe money to and make a payment plan. Absolutely necessary for your peace of mind and to start your debt-free journey. So if you can afford, set up a direct debit. Whatever you can afford, any amount, as long as you talk, they will accept it. Just explain to them that you are on a rough patch and you cannot pay at the moment. Your situation has changed and it was something unexpected, but you hope to get better because you're working on it. You're hoping to get a new job, or you're hoping to find another source of income. Do not despair. As long as you talk to them, they will accept it and they will not pursue you further as long as you have a plan in place. This is why it's very important to talk it out. If you can afford, as I said, do make a direct debit, but otherwise do make a payment plan which you pay off by phone or online or in cash or by check. Because chances are, if you're broke, you will not afford to have a direct debit and miss payments, because most banks do charge a fee if you don't have money at that specific time in your bank, and usually they try to take out money twice, and if you don't have money twice, they're gonna charge you twice. So you're not really helping yourself here, you're just incurring more debt, which is not good for you. Now, after you made arrangements and plans with all your creditors, breathe. You've done well so far. The plan is going perfect. You need to set up a budget. Say you have, I don't know, a certain amount of money coming in monthly. You have to divide that money between living and paying off debt. I know many times this is quite an impossible task, but this is what you need to be thinking about. For example, if you used to spend money monthly on groceries, say £500 per month on groceries, this is just an example, you need to see how you can divide the entire amount between having food and groceries and paying off debt. Of course, life and living comes first always. So you need to adjust your budget accordingly. First of all, set aside money for food. If you can reduce that amount, do it. It's very important and will pay off. If, for example, you used to go out every week, every end of the week, you might want to reduce that to once a month or just having nights in. It is a very good habit to develop, especially if you have debt. If, for example, you are used to spend on clothing lots of money, you need to reduce that as well. I promise you can live in same clothing a couple of years. If you wash them, they're still good, perfect. Prioritize what's important, unless we're talking about school uniform and stuff like that, in which case you have no other choice and you have kids, they come first, of course. But where you can cut off, do make those cuts. Of course, sanity is also important. So, for example, if it's deadly important for you to go out once a month and just buy yourself a nice meal and a glass of wine, do that. Because mental health will keep you going. So protect your mental health. But don't make habit out of spending. Set up a budget. See how much you can pay monthly towards your creditors and how much you can set aside for yourself. Also, in many cases, I know there is not enough budget to even make a budget from. I know. So you need to just throw money here and there wherever you can to just reduce potentially some of the debt, and then here and there buy yourself some things and then live off. I understand, but you need to be very careful because that has interest, and every interest goes on top of the last month's interest and so on. And if you don't pay your debt on time, it's just gonna get higher all the time. Don't worry, it's gonna be there for you, but don't despair. There is always something you can do. Another thing you can do, the next step, is live below your means. As I said, you need to cut back on whatever you think you can. Don't go crazy. Don't go frugal from a very high living standard. Going to frugal is not going to help you. Just make the necessary cuts where you think you can. Trust your judgment, make good decisions, and things will turn to your favor at some point. Also, the next step is stick to the repayments. You need to stick with whatever you promise to repay to your creditors. If, for example, you promised your creditors you will pay a certain amount monthly, and you've done that for the first month, but the second month things have changed, you needed to buy something which you consider to be an emergency, and your budget has slightly changed. Do not despair. What you need to do is call again your creditor and reset the arrangement. As I said, as long as you talk things out, you have a chance, a vivid living chance to get out of that and have your peace of mind. So stick to the repayments, but also don't forget to call again and again if you need to rearrange those payments, to make a rearrangement of those payments. Now, also, the next step is to develop a side hustle. It's very important for you to have a side hustle, something that you do, and think about how you can earn extra cash for you to cover that debt and to live off. There are many things, and you can search over the internet, you can get paid for surveys, which is a very slow process, to be honest, but it is doable. You can also ghostwrite for someone, you can do the work instead of someone. So many things you can do on the side from home many times, so you can raise money to pay off your debt quicker. If your side hustle starts to pay off, do not leave your living standards. Do not rise your living standards. All you need to do is make over repayments to those creditors. Do not rise your living standards ever. Just stick to the initial plan and make it happen. You can do it. Trust your judgment in everything you can do. Now, once you are debt free, because in a few years you will be debt free if you stick to this plan, do not rise your standard of living. Instead, learn a lesson from your previous experience with that, and if you happen to have money on top of what you need, save. Always save. Set it aside. Open a savings account. It will pay interest on top of that. Open an ISA account. You will get interest as well. Buy valuables, assets. You can buy all sorts of things that will not decrease in value, but will stay with you for whenever you need them. So save, save, save. Until next time, don't forget, give to the Caesar what's Caesar's, and to the God what's God's. See you later.